Hey there. So, have you ever thought about making a move to the Salt Lake City, Utah area? Maybe you thought about relocating here, you've been here a time or two, and you just keep thinking about it. Well, today we're going to talk about living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area, and we're going to hop into it right now. Mariah Koehle here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. I'm a licensed and active real estate agent here in Utah, and this channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living here in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below. Make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you're notified every week we drop a new video. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move, who are looking to relocate, buy or sell a property here, and we absolutely love it. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and my team and I would love to connect with you. Also, if you are looking for a free moving to Salt Lake City guide, drop the word guide, Guide, down below, and I would love to connect with you and send you that free guide of relocating here to Salt Lake City. So let's hop right into it. Living here in Salt Lake City offers so many different things. I've helped tons of families relocate here, move here to Salt Lake for all different reasons. So today I'm going to just kind of walk you through what living in Salt Lake City might have to offer, and some of the suburbs, really what you can expect and why people are living and moving here to Salt Lake City. So let's hop right into it. Number one of the biggest reasons that I hear from people that are making the move out here, simply jobs. Yes, job opportunities here in and around the Salt Lake City, Utah area. There are a lot of different jobs. If you are looking at finance, if you're looking at education, if you're looking at construction, if you are looking in the tech industry, there are a lot of jobs in and around Salt Lake City. I know many people have, relocated here and are interested in Lehi, Utah. Lehi, Utah is what they call the Silicon Slopes. Yes, this is, named kind of after in California where they've got, the Silicon Valley. This is the Silicon Slopes. Big tech industry, lots of jobs. So jobs, number one, why so many people are living here in Utah and making Salt Lake home for them. Number two is the community and family friendliness that you really experience here. I know for me personally, when we were living out of state, I remember it was an anomaly having 4 kids. Yes, we have 4 kids, and we ended up getting surprise twins at the end. So we had 1, 2, and then surprise twins. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is great. I remember when, we were living out of state and people would ask me like, are all of these your kids? And I'd say, yes, they're all my kids. And it's pretty incredible. And I remember moving here to Utah, it is not unusual for people to have more than 1 child here in Utah. And it's very family friendly, very centered upon communities, centered upon activities, and all of those different things. I know our family has moved here and we've loved just the sense of community, the sense of family, the inclusion of all different kinds of things. So number 2, family friendly. Number 3, if you are thinking about moving here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area, many people move here to Utah simply because of the outdoors. The number of outdoor activities that you can experience all year long is pretty incredible. Like, it is pretty incredible if you are an outdoor enthusiast, the number of things that you can do all year long. Right now we've got people that are skiing, we've got people that are taking their snowmobiles, friends that are taking their snowmobiles out every weekend and going into the mountains. We've got friends that are still doing all the normal things that outdoor things of still running. Yes, there's snow in the mountains and some snow on the ground, but people are still, you see people out running, you see people out walking. Another thing that, and I'm going to talk about this one here in a minute, and it kind of comes to weather, but for people here in Utah, a lot of people, there's a lot of sunny days. So even though it is winter and it is cold out, there are enough sunny days. A lot of the snow does melt on the ground. You can see behind me even too, where there's still some snow, but there's also a lot that is already, melted out too. Depends on where you're living here in Utah, depends on the elevation and how high you are and all of that as well. But for the most part, people are moving here because they love just experiencing those great outdoors. Moving right along to the next one, and this I just kind of touched on this, the weather and the four seasons. Yes, the weather and the four seasons is a big one for many people here. A lot of people that are moving here from the East Coast are like, I love that it's not super humid. I love that, yes, it snows, but you still have a lot of sunny days and a lot of the snow will melt. People love living here because of the beautiful fall, the, incredible, kind of crisp spring. If you are into skiing, there are obviously so many incredible ski resorts that are at your fingertips here in the Salt Lake area. So weather plays a big factor of people, moving here too. I was recently talking to a couple that is moving here from the Midwest, and they're like, no more, no more winters that are like well below zero. It gets cold here, but you are not going to see usually, a major wind chill factor. You're not going to have, a lot of negative degree days. And January is usually our coldest month. December and January are usually typically our coldest months here in Utah. And then in the summer, you're usually going to have, July and August that are typically going to be the warmest months here in Utah. So weather is another big factor for many. Education is also living here in Utah. If you are going to school here, whether it's at elementary, middle, high school, collegiate level, beyond that, there are a lot of things in the way of education that are bringing people here too. I know recently I was talking to a family that they're like, you know what? Our kids are going to be going to college pretty soon. We're interested in getting our kids in, universities that are very good, but also close by so they can, have that option to live at home, or they can, live in the dorms, or, find other housing options, but they want to have those different kind of, experiences and options for their family. So education is another big one. And if you are, thinking, there are so many different opportunities and options for that as well. So that's something else to consider. Moving right along to the next one, cultural experiences, opportunities. If you are into music, fine arts, the symphonies, the musicals. I recently just took my kids to a couple of different musicals that they were like, this was so cool. And we haven't done a ton of that. And they really, really, really enjoyed that kind of experience. The number of museums are really incredible. The planetarium that's downtown is amazing. So just in terms of culture, arts, things to do here in Salt Lake and in and around Salt Lake, there are a lot of things to do. Sometimes Salt Lake gets a bad rap for not having like a major nightlife scene, but for some people, they're like, it's enough. For others, they're like, I'm not moving to Salt Lake for the nightlife scene anyway. So kind of knowing that if you are thinking about moving to Salt Lake City. Another big one for people too is simply the transportation. There are a lot of different, transportation options, especially if you're living in downtown Salt Lake, in and around there. You're able to take the tracks, which is really easy to hop on and off. The bus system there, the train system that's in and out of there goes, all the way north of Salt Lake City. It goes south of Salt Lake City as well. So that is another nice one that a lot of people that are commuting into the city will go, hey, you know what? I'm going to hop on the train and, I can get work done while I'm on the train. So public transportation is also another big one. And last but not least, living in Salt Lake, I know lots of people that are moving here, move here for different reasons. Some are moving for family, some are moving for jobs, some are moving for education, all the different jobs. What I have noticed personally living in and around Salt Lake City is simply the pace of life. If you are thinking about moving here, the pace of life, if you have lived, in different places, the pace of life here is a little bit slower. You can expect it to be a little bit slower than, for example, we were coming from California. And I remember, going on the 6 and 7 lane freeways and just feeling like if I'm not going a certain speed limit, that I'm going to get blown right off the freeway. Here it's a little bit different. Like there's a lot of back roads, there's a lot of main streets, there's a lot of university avenues that you're going to just kind of cruise along, and the speed limit's a little bit slower on some of those roads. The freeways here, a lot of the freeways are going to be 70 miles an hour. If you are going down to St. George, to southern Utah, you can expect there are going to be places on the freeway that are going to be 80 miles an hour as well. So yes, there's still a lot that is going to be, slow pace and all that, but then there's also the freeways that, will pick up with that. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of a little bit of a snapshot about living in Utah, especially Salt Lake City, why people are moving here. We talked about jobs, we talked about education, we talked about family, community, outdoor activities. If this sounds like something that is, right up your alley, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My team and I hear from people like you all the time, and we absolutely love it. If you are looking for that community guide, again, drop the word guide down below, and I would love to send you that community guide. Wishing you a fabulous day. Take care and have a good one. Bye.